विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ मंत्र नंबर 8। तस्य तपोदमः कर्मेति प्रतिष्ठा वेदाः सर्वाङ्गानि सत्यम आयतनम। So we are discussing what is required for gaining Brahma Jnana, the preparedness, qualities, etc. And some of the things only have been mentioned here, but very important one have been mentioned here in this Upanishad. And first thing is karma. Three things are mentioned: karma, damaha, and tapasya, tapaha. So karma, as we have seen already, karma means nitya naimittik karmas, so certain daily and occasional duties. And I should do it properly and living a prayerful life. Means what is important in this karma is whether you are able to relate to Ishvara or not through karma. That's all. That is the important thing. For a sadhaka, a seeker like us, whatever we do, what we do is not important. Whatever we do, are we able to connect through that karma to Ishvara or not? We should relate to Ishvara through karma phala also. That is what karma yoga is basically. And so this is a life of prayer. Basically, one lives a very life of a prayer, and definitely prayer means not that just sitting and chanting something. Prayer means basically through the karma, through the activities, and that too especially nitya naimittik karmas, one relates to Ishvara, and therefore that will bring a lot of purity, and of course grace of Ishvara also will be there, which will ultimately help you to gain the knowledge. So karma is the first thing for gaining preparedness of the knowledge. Second thing is damaha, and here damaha means we have already also seen this. From our life, all these meaningless activities, they are gone or not. So a lot of time gets wasted, in certain meaningless activity. Meaning means definitely person. Meaningless means for us, from the world. The people who are having a certain material pursuits, for them everything is meaningful. Maybe running around or whatever. For people like us, the seekers. Basically, some of the activities are basically meaningless. So, those activities, if they are dropped, then I have a damaha in my life. And of course, shamaha also, resolution of the mind, etc., will be there along with that. Any activity which has dropped, earlier you were so much engaged in, but now it has dropped, definitely you will have a resolution also for that activity. But it has gone for good. You won't have conflict in your mind. Why this particular activity got dropped from me? You don't even ask also. And therefore, definitely you have a resolution of mind. That's called shamaha. Anyway, and then we discussed yesterday tapaha also. I mean, certain physical discipline is required, and verbal oral discipline also is very important. Generally, tapaha we don't actually, highlight. But yesterday I talked to you what is called tapaha. What is discipline? That's a general meaning of tapaha. Specific meaning is of course there, willful self-denial, etc. But that we should not take it. We should take a general, discipline, physical discipline, oral disciplines. And physical discipline also I talked to you what is to be done. Oral discipline also. In oral disciplines we have discussed certain points. That this particular organ of speech is very, very important tool given to the human being, like the intellect. So we have a two speciality, not just one. Our intellect, of course, is superior to compared to other living beings. That is one thing. And the organ of speech which is given to us, well, that is also equally important. And so I should understand the value of organ of speech. And once I understand that, I should become responsible in uttering the words. And then, then third thing is a quality of the words is very important for us. And quality of words can be determined by four factors that also we discussed. And then that is, the first factor is, I should not utter the words which can hurt others. The hurt at the level of speech is much more than hurt at the physical level. That physical level, any hurt, it can go with the medicines, etc. That hurt can be cured. But the verbal or orally, if you hurt some person, that will go for a very, very, it goes far. It goes, it doesn't go so easily. And that brings a papam for me, basically, because it's a himsa, violence. And that will bring papam. And so that papam will basically become an obstruction in my own pursuit of moksha. And so the second thing is, the first thing is, I should not hurt through my words. Then second thing, satyam basically means I should have an alignment while speaking. So what I know and what I think and what I speak, should have an alignment. And that also I have told you that you can definitely you can determine what untruths you are speaking. And so you can make a list of the things. You need not show to anybody, but you can make a list. And certain untruths you will find that you can avoid. Generally you are not avoiding, but when you make a list you will find that this untruth I can avoid. And so once you make a list and then you check the list, then you will find that unavoidable untruths, definitely they are very less. But most of the untruths you can avoid it. So this is how, this is a second thing to determine the quality of your words. And the third thing, is your non-verbal communication should make the person comfortable. Your body language, your facial expression, verbal communication you will bring a comfort, etc. That's another thing. But non-verbal communication, nowadays it is very important. Even they do a lot of research in this. When body language and all, a lot of research is going on, and they try to understand more than from the verbal communication. They try to understand the person from the non-verbal communication. And so that also will be very, very helpful. So non-verbal communication means your facial expression, your body language, etc. should make the other person, the listener, comfortable. So that is a third factor to determine the quality of your words. And the fourth factor is, it should be beneficiary to both, of course to you also and to the listener. The words should be beneficiary. You and the listener both should be the beneficiary of your words. And these are the four factors by which you can definitely determine the quality of your words. Then I have told you also, if you want that, your words should have a quality, because I should be responsible for, I should responsible speaker. Then definitely quality is important. Then you have to reduce the quantity. If you really want to keep the quality of your words, reduce the quantity of speaking. And that also I have explained you. Basically, you should talk to a person who is a listener, who wants to listen. That you can always determine by the body language, or in between you can stop and wait for a few minutes. You will find the other person is interested or not. He immediately will tell, please tell me, why did you stop? Please tell me. Then you should understand he wants. But when you stop and the person wants to go, means basically he was not interested in listening. Or he started talking to you. That also is there. Afterwards he does not allow you to talk. I mean, he only talks. Means he was not interested in listening to you. Anyway, this is all you may be knowing more than me. Anyway, so this is also a factor. And apart from all this, definitely oral discipline includes a daily recitation of some prayers of the Shastra. Daily recitation. Swadhyaya Abhyasaha they call. Swadhyaya means whatever the Shastra you have. Abhyasa means, Parayana, recitation. So, that is also considered as a oral discipline. And then there are mental disciplines, but let's not go into that. It's little more difficult also, etc. And therefore, let's not go into mental disciplines. Let's confine ourselves to these two, oral discipline and physical discipline. So, these three things have been told here in the Upanishad: karma, damaha and tapaha. And if these three are there, then Brahma Vidya is possible. They say Brahma Vidya should develop a feet to stand upon. And Antakarana is its feet. The mind is its feet, because knowledge takes place in the mind. And so mind should have all this qualification. What this qualification? It should definitely be be aware of towards daily and occasional duties. And damaha also is there, and tapaha also is there. Therefore, it should have all these qualifications mentioned in the Shastra, represented by karma, damaha and tapaha. And these three are called feet of the basically Brahma Vidya. Because why they are called feet? Because the Brahma Vidya, let's say take a Brahma Vidya as a body, then Brahma Vidya should be able to stand. And it will be able to stand when definitely these feet will be there, which tapaha, karma and damaha. And then only we can understand, the Brahman or the Vastu. And here, of course, the whole Veda is considered as a person. And then, that's how here it has been, because Vedaha Sarvangani they have called. So, the whole Veda is considered as a body, and Vedanta is considered as a head of the body. Veda, I have head of the body, that is the Veda, and the Karma Kanda and Upasana Kandas of the Veda are considered the limbs, that support and serve the body. So, Vedaha Sarvangani. So, in that Sarvangani, we should take this Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda as a limbs. Vedanta is a head of this, and the legs are this, we have seen Tapaha, Damaha and Karma. And the whole body of the Veda, stand on which ground? They call Satyam Ayatanam. So, the truth is abode. Satyam is Yathartha Bhashanam. Both the way we can look upon. Satyam means Yathartha Bhashanam, speaking the truth. Of course, we have already discussed. But they are again telling, as though they are making it separate. So, Satyam is separately mentioned because the Shastra wants to highlight this value of speaking the truth, which stands for all the values, So, Ayatanam means the ground on which the body is standing. And which body? The whole Veda or the Brahma Vidya, let's say. So, Satyam is the ground for that. So, on which the Veda body is standing. Or else, if Satyam, if we need not to take, if we don't want to take it as a Yathartha Bhashanam, speaking the truth, etc., then Satyam can be taken as a Satyam Brahma. So Brahman is the very abode on which the entire Veda is standing. Veda body is standing. That also can be taken because, well, in the Shastra it is Prasiddham. The Brahman is a Satyam. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So Satyam can, well, we can take it Satyam as a Brahman also. Satyam Ayatanam, Sayatanam, abode, or the ground on which the entire, in fact the whole creation is basically sustained, and the whole creation stands on the Brahman. Brahman is a very Pratishtha, Brahman is Adhishthanam that we have seen. Anyway, so this is what it is, and this is the Upanishad, this is the Rahasyam, they call. I mean, this is the Rahasyam, means basically these things are there, then one can understand the Brahma Vidya, which is the secret. And another Rahasyam also is there, there's, well, basically, Rahasyam is secret. There seems to be no connection between, what happens is, this question comes, it has come into the Arjuna's mind also. Well, Bhagavan says you fight the war. And Bhagavan has narrated the whole thing, Jnanam and the result of the Jnanam and the Jnani, etc., all Sthitaprajna, everything has been discussed. What is moksha, everything has been taught. And then Bhagavan says fight. And Arjuna was not able to connect. What is a connection, this fight and moksha. That was his problem. In fact, the third chapter itself, in the beginning itself, he asked that question to Lord also. So what is the connection between the fighting and the war and this moksha, etc.? Same way we also have that kind of maybe that question. Doing this nitya naimittik karmas, etc., or dropping certain activities which are meaningless, etc., or having oral discipline, etc. What is the connection with the Brahman? I mean, what is the connection with the moksha? Moksha has a connection with the Brahma Jnanam, basically. One should sit down and listen to the teaching of the, teaching of the Upanishads, etc. That is a connection. What is the connection between this Nitya Naimittik Karma and Moksha, etc.? So that is a rahasyam for us. That is also a secret for us. And also the various rituals also, in the Veda, whole Veda is considered as a Upanishad, rahasyam, secret in fact. So this is we are not just Nitya Naimittik Karma. Other things also, other Kamya Karmas are also rahasyam, really. Because if you do a Karma Putra Kameshti Yajna, and person definitely gets a son after a few years, etc. Now what is the connection? You do here a Kariri Yaga, etc. And after a few days you will get rain. Now what is the connection? We don't know, because the karma is over basically. Karma is, it's a ritual, it's over in a day. And it's over totally. I mean, everything is, the person also has gone away, everything material has been totally consumed by the fire, etc. And after a few days you get rain. What is the connection? It's a rahasyam basically. That's also a secret. But anyway, in our case, living a life of a karma yoga, etc., and gaining moksha, etc., looks unconnected. But it has a connection, and Shastra tells us also that how the so-called karma with the certain attitude, etc., brings a preparedness for the jnanam, and that will lead you for gaining knowledge. Once you get a qualification, you will get a knowledge and you will gain moksha also. And basically, this preparedness, gaining preparedness, Pujya Swamiji calls it as a emotional maturity. Emotional maturity, and that is very, very important. Emotional maturity or emotional growth. So there are two types of growth. One is a physical growth and other is a emotional growth. And physical growth, that is a natural growth, let's say, has already taken place at a physical level, and it takes place without much care. If you keep on eating and jump around, you will find that one day you have become so big, you have a mustache and everything, and you have a beard, you just grow. That's not a big deal. But basically this emotional maturity, etc., has to be initiated. And it starts with the Purushartha Nishchaya basically. Purushartha Nishchaya we have already talked about. I mean, if you feel Purushartha means basically a pursuit of a human being, what is desired by a human being, that's called Purushartha. And they say four Purushartha, Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha, etc. Well, but basically when person has this kind of an option, then we say Moksha is the ultimate Purushartha. But basically there are no options, to be honest. Whether it is a Purushartha Viveka or Purushartha Nishchaya means there is only one pursuit, and that is Moksha. Basically, I want a freedom. Freedom from insecurity, freedom from unhappiness, etc. Centered on the self. Well, that's why I just want a freedom. And so we have discussed, of course, all these things. And definitely, and not only Artha, Kama, Dharma also is a Purushartha like that only. Dharma brings you very, very close to the moksha, really. Dharma actually, not only Purushartha Viveka in terms of between Artha and moksha, you want moksha, you ascertain that itself is a preparedness of the mind. Between Kama and moksha also, moksha is a Purushartha. If you do such a discrimination, well, that also is a preparedness. But Dharma is basically brings you very, very close to get qualified for this Jnana. How? Basically, Dharma means basically you know very well. Dharma means doing what is right and not doing what is wrong. That's all. So basically what happens is, generally what is happening, what is to be avoided, I like. And what is to be done, well, I don't like. This is generally my tendency. What is not to be done, I like. And what is to be avoided, I like. What is not to be done, I like it, I'm sorry. What is to be done, I don't like. That is my tendency. Dharma brings you ulta. Dharma brings you what? What you love what is to be done, and you don't love or you don't like what is not to be done. What is the big deal? Why you are saying like this, and so we are confused. What are you saying? Basically, as a person, before I adopt a dharma as a purushartha in my life, definitely I am basically endowed with so many ragadveshas. So many ragadveshas and all the anxieties born of that, etc. And well, definitely if I choose based on the universal structure of a right and wrong, I choose that, well, what is to be done only I like, and what is not to be done I don't like. Basically, I am sacrificing my own likes and dislikes in the process. Right? Generally, earlier was what? Like I can give an example, sir. Well, you like not to speak truth. That's the situation. How can you say, Swamiji? Everyone basically does that way. You like what is, you like to speak untruth. And universal value is basically to speak truth. That's a universal value. In fact, you love it also. You have a value for the truth. Even though let me say about me. If some person will say, Swamiji, how can you say about us? Okay, let me say that about me. Like, I love truth, but I speak untruth because of a certain advantage, certain liking for some objects or money or something. So that is attachment involved. But I love truth. I always like the people who are true or who speak truth to me. You won't keep you won't keep a relationship with the people who are all the time lying. In fact, you hate those people. You may speak lie to others. That's another thing. That's because of certain attachment, certain gain, certain benefit. But basically, you love the people who are speaking truth. And therefore, basically, now understanding that universal value, and that's a value. Everyone loves truth, basically. And therefore, you also start loving what is to be done, speaking truth, etc. And you does not care for what is not to be done. Then that is called the growth. That is what I mean by emotional maturity or emotional growth. And that definitely, how can you say emotional? Because you will be free from the likes and hold of likes and dislikes, free from the anxieties born of likes and dislikes. You will be free from the fears, insecurities born of ragadveshas, etc. And therefore, basically, you have moved one step forward by which, well, ultimately the Shastra will come and tell you, you are the secure person. Actually, the security, you are the source of the security. You are the source of happiness. Dharma also brings a happiness, this Purushartha. When what is to be done, you do. And what is not to be done, you don't do. You will get a joy. Think about it. Think about it. You will get a joy without experience any object. Like just, I give a simple example of getting up in the morning. Right? What is to be done is getting up early in the morning and you are able to do. You will get a joy or you will become unhappy. That you can think. Well, a laundry is to be done and you do. Once a week, whatever. Or once in fortnight, whatever. You are supposed to clean your tables and this and that. Since many days, whenever you enter in a room, you find, yeah, I have to clean my table. I have to clean my kitchen. I have to do it. One day you decide in the morning, Sunday morning, let me do that. And you do. In fact, you have toiled so much. In fact, you got tired. But I tell you, in your heart, you will have a joy. Without experiencing even a cup of tea, you will be joyful. This is how you are. That is what Dharma brings you, a independent joy also. Dharma brings you, basically, Dharma brings you self-esteem. Dharma brings you self-worth. When you do what is to be done and you don't do what is not to be done, in your own eye, you won't fall. Yeah. That brings a self-worth, self-esteem, and self-love. People will love you, that's another thing. You will become a center of love for all the people. You will become a point of a trust for all the people. That's another thing. But I am not concerned about that. I am just telling you about yourself. You bring closer yourself to the moksha purushartha. Well, moksha means you are everything. You are everything. You are Brahman. I am not able to accept because already in my eye I have fallen down. I have to get up in the morning, I am not able to get up. If I want to do something and I don't do it. If I want to speak, I have a value for the truth and I am not able to speak. I have value for honesty, I am not able to do. I should not hurt others, that's a value and that I am not able to do. I hurt all the time. In your own eye, you fall down. To such a person, Shastra and teacher comes and tell you are Brahman, sir. You are everything, and that person is not able to accept. Dharma brings you closer to moksha. One who is a dharmika will definitely become one day, if he exposes himself or herself to the Shastra, to this Brahma Vidya, he will definitely gain. A religious person will become a spiritual person. A irreligious person can never become a spiritual person. Whether there is a irreligious word is there or not, I don't care, but I am saying you at this moment. So irreligious, a life without, that's how they are saying. Karma means that's what I told you, a religious life, prayerful life. But dharma is definitely involved, all these values etc. are involved in that. That only gives you a lot of maturity. And maturity is nothing but you are free from anxiety, fear, relatively. Ultimately, knowledge will come and tell you are fearless. Well, definitely, you are the source of security. Well, you are a timeless, etc. Well, then I will be able to appreciate. I will be able to appreciate since the dharma has brought me closer. And therefore, basically, dharma purushartha will bring a person very close to the moksha. And therefore, that's how they are emphasizing satya vachanam, etc. also for that purpose. Anyway, so dharma is meant for inner growth. Anyway, this is enough in that aspect. And I will become free from anxiety, raga, dvesha, etc. Mind will be ready for the gaining knowledge, etc. And that paves the way for one to discover absolute completeness. Because dharma brings you you will have a sense, a self-worth. You will have a self-esteem. A little, relatively a sense of completeness. Because without depending upon the objects in the creation, you are able to enjoy yourself. You are able to enjoy just doing. You are able to gain happiness by doing, not by experiencing objects. Dharma brings you. How many examples can I give? Like somebody wants that please show me this. What is the direction to go to Stroudsburg? And you help the person to the extent. You don't. I don't expect that you go to up to the Stroudsburg along with him. But you relatively help the person, and when that person becomes so happy, and by doing such thing and making the person satisfied, you yourself get satisfaction or get a joy. So definitely between arthakama and dharma, this is a big difference. Arthakama, purushartha means you experience those objects of security or pleasure, whatever, and gain happiness and become secure. Try to become secure anyway. But the dharma is which not by experiencing, by doing something. You become, definitely, you have a sense of completeness or a joy. So Upanishad definitely, that is how the karma yogas or values in your life, etc., or a dharma actually paves the way for gaining self-knowledge. But unless you are exposed to Shastra, you will not know this. How my daily activity and moksha, how they are connected. It remains Upanishad. It remains secret. And so Upanishad wants to basically, by mentioning the disciples' request, in the mantra number 7, then Shruti points out that mere Shravanam, even though it is the means of knowledge, does not work. Because one has to prepare oneself. And therefore the first statement of the teacher is, Upanishad is already taught to you, by me actually, and it is taught to you. That's complete. But then the subsequent statement is, I will tell you now some more secret, which is called Upanishad, and which is connected to Brahma Vidya, following which, of course, you will have a mind conducive to gain this knowledge. And those things have been told here as a tapaha, karma and dhamma. So disciples' question is very, very important here to remove the separation between knowledge and the means of preparing knowledge. So two things are there. Jnanasya sadhanam they call. Jnanasya sadhanam and jnanaya sadhanam. For gaining knowledge, one requires a certain mind, and for that karma, dhamma, tapaha means this is called jnanaya sadhanam. For the sake of jnana, all these means are required. And then jnanasya sadhanam, for gaining Brahma Vidya as such, Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam becomes a direct means of knowledge. And so, and in that also, Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam also, somebody asked me, in these three also, what is most important? Shravanam is most important. Definitely. Shravanam is most important. Mananam and Nididhyasanam are the supporting means. Shravanam is, they call it as a primary means, Angi they call, and Mananam and Nididhyasanam are called Angas, supporting means. So having said this, now Upanishad concludes by mentioning the result of the knowledge, and that we'll see now. Yova etam evam veda apahatya papmanam anante swarge loke jyeye pratitishthati. So says here, anyone who gains this knowledge of Brahman in this manner, having destroyed all these papas, gets established in the limitless Brahman. That is called, Ananta Swarga, etc., highest Swarga, which is nothing but Brahman. We'll see that. So, anyone who gains the knowledge of Brahman in this manner means having a preparedness, basically. Preparedness, one has to prepare oneself for gaining this knowledge. And in which way we have to prepare, we have also seen that tapaha, etc., and gaining this necessary qualification mentioned in the previous mantra. Well, gaining those qualification, one should definitely gain Brahma Vidya also. Then one can gain limitless Swarga. That's how it has been mentioned. Swarga has been mentioned here. Anyway, we will see that. So, etam Brahma Vidyam evam Veda. In mantra it has said, etam Brahma Vidyam. This Brahma Vidya. Evam means in this manner. One has this knowledge of Brahman that was pointed out, where it is pointed out. Already so much. Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, Vachoha Vacham. Or else, if you, somebody in Kenopanisad, how many mantras I should remember? 2 mantras at least you remember. Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, etc., etc., Vachoha Vacham. That second mantra. And in the second chapter, 4th mantra. Pratibodha Viditam Matam, etc., etc. Amrutatvam hi vindate, Atmana vindate, Vidyam, Vidyaya vindate, Amrutam. So at least these 2 mantras, you remember. So one gains knowledge of Brahman, that was pointed out in Shrotrasya Shrotram, that mantra, or Pratibodha Viditam Matam, etc. And saha papmanam apahatya anante swarge loke jeye pratidishtati. Papmanam apahatya. So being free from all the papas, he remains in anante jeye swarge. Swarga means, we'll see that. Swarga means sukham, etc. So he remains in this limitless Brahman, highest heaven, etc. And what is papa? But what is the papa? They say, being free from papa. Papa means what? Papa means avidya, taking oneself to be a samsari. This is what it is. I am samsari is avidya. I am asamsari is vidya, moksha. So papa means here avidya, taking oneself to be a samsari. And definitely, but what is that I am samsari means what? I am small. That's all. I am small. All the time I have that feeling. I am small, very limited. I am individual. I am nothing in this creation, Swamiji. I am nothing. Therefore, and Shastra says you are everything. That is. So from Shastra has to work so much, you can understand. I am nothing to I am everything. Oh, what a long way to go. But if preparedness is what? Basically, I am something. Well, self-worth. So dharma brings you somewhere in between. Well, definitely, if there is no dharma in life, you will have that sense. I am nothing. Swamiji, I am useless. Whatever I want to do in my life, I am not able to do. Well, really, it becomes well rooted. Suppose a person, wants to do something. He has a value for something. And if he is not able to cope up with that, in his own eye, he falls down. I told you. And this sense of failure will, after some time, he feels that he is useless for anything in the world. So that is how I am nothing to I am something. It's self-worth. And then ultimately, I am everything. That's how it is. Anyway, I just got like this. Anyway, so I am samsari is basically, you have to take into account the cause also. That is ignorance. That is all papa. Papa means a sense of smallness along with the cause, ignorance. And so avidya is generally used in both the sense. The sense of error and the cause for that error also. And so this is how this is papmanam apahatya, means gaining this knowledge. One is free from the notion of smallness and as well as the ignorance which creates this notion also. And negating all this papa, one remains in swarga, heaven. Any heaven is basically anitya or time bound, and therefore going to swarga is not moksha. In fact, in any philosophy, every philosophy talks about moksha as one of the things. Philosophy talks about 6 things. One of that is a goal of life, and that is moksha in any philosophy, any darshana. And everyone accepts moksha as a nitya vastu. Everyone, whatever their concept of moksha, that is not a matter. In fact, other religions also talk about a heaven, going to heaven, but that is eternal. Again, they are also eternal. Non-eternal heaven they don't talk. And so, Jannat, etc. in other religions, that also they say it is nitya. And we also say. And so we definitely going to Swarga etc. will be a time bound thing. It is anityam. So Anante Swarge they call. Anante Swarge means heaven that does not come to an end. And definitely therefore that Swarga will not be a Swarga Loka. That Loka, Swarga Loka means it's a time bound thing. It's a part of the creation. When the creation dissolves, the Swarga also will dissolve. Along with all this Loka, other Lokas also get dissolved. And therefore, but then why does the Shastra uses the word Swarga and create a confusion? Well, don't worry about it. Swarga means basically Sukham. Sukham. Swarga means Sukham. That's how the name of Swarga in Sanskritam, the other name is there. That is called Nakam. Nakam. Kam means Sukham. Kam means Sukham. From there word Kamaha also has come. Kamaha. Ka plus Amaha is equal to Kamaha. So with Kama means all these sense pleasures. Right? There so Ka is a Sukha, but Ama indicates it is Kacha. It's not ripe. And therefore the Vishaya Sukhas are Anityam basically. And therefore they call Kama. Not it is very fragile, right? It's a fragile. Amaha means a fragile, which has not become ripe. We call Am. And so all these Vishaya Sukha sense pleasures are like that. Anyway, Swarga is called Nakam. Why? Because Kam means Sukham. Akam, not Sukham. Dukkham. And Na Akam, Nakam, means not Dukkham. Where there is no Dukkha at all is called Nakam or Swarga. So basically, Swarga means a Sukha, and here it says Anante. So Anante Swarge, and definitely that kind of a Ananta Sukha will be in terms of which does not come and go. That's called Anantam. So it says the Sukha in the form of limitless in terms of time and degrees. And that must be my own nature, right? Limitless Sukha means it doesn't come and it doesn't go. Definitely it must be my nature. Like going to a Swarga etc. to that place. Once you reach there, you will be happy. And once your punya will be over, you will come down. Then that Sukha will go away. Means that is bound, it is a time bound thing. So basically, this Swarga basically means Ananta Swarga means Sukham. Anantam Sukham means limitless Sukham. And limitless Sukham means it must be my nature. It doesn't come and go. And therefore, like I tell you, I give you an example of a sugar crystal all the time. Like sugar crystal wants to be sweet all the time. No limitation in time, right? Wants to be sweet in all the places, and wants to be sweet in association with everything, in relating everything, in relating to the mirchi, in relating to tamarind, in relating to everything. It wants to be sweet. Then I am telling to sugar crystal that basically it's your nature. Unless it is your nature, basically you cannot be sweet all the time, at all the places, and relating to all also, in different situations. Also you want to be sweet. It must be your nature only. That is how it is. So, I also want to be always happy everywhere in all the situation, and that means one has to be of the nature of happiness. So, Anantam Sukham is nothing but one's own nature. Limitless. Limitless in time, limitless in place, and in all situations. That must be my own nature. Other than me, suppose there is a source of Sukham, then it is not limitless. It is limited. You can understand very well. Other than you, then definitely at a certain moment you come in touch with, at a certain place you come in touch with, in certain situation you come in touch with. It's always limited. So if Anantam Sukham, Ananta Swarga, Ananta Sukham means basically it must be your own nature, which does not come, which does not go, which is not limited in time, not limited in place, not limited in varieties of the situation. And that is what has been told here. And there is so Swargam means basically the self that is full and complete. And the knower of Brahman, one who gains the knowledge of this Brahman through the Shrotrasya Shrotram, etc., and through the Pratibodha Viditam Matam, etc., one who comes to know oneself as a Brahman, well, definitely one establishes oneself in this limitless self. And there is another adjective, Jye. Anante Jye Swarge Loke Pratishtati. And Jye means biggest, and which cannot be improved upon. And there is nothing bigger than that. Of course, this is Brahman, which is because there is nothing bigger than Brahman. And so Brahman itself has the meaning of Jye. Jye means Brahmani, in the Brahman. And Swarga means basically the inner self, which is of the nature of Sukham. And this is we can understand easily. Sukham is always related to a conscious being. There is no question. When you mention Sukham, Atma only is already recognized. Why? Because Sukham cannot be associated with an inert thing. Sukham must be associated with a conscious being. And therefore, Anantam Sukham means that Sukham, well, which is associated with the conscious being, is limitless, means which is its own nature. So one who has gained this Vidya, that basically the self, the conscious being, is nothing but the Brahman, which is limitless. Well, Anante Jye Loke Pratitishthati. Well, Pratitishthati points out that there is no way of getting out of it. Once you know yourself as Brahman, you are limitless Brahman, consciousness, well, there is no way of getting out of it, of that knowledge. Because it is not some kind of a samadhi or a sleep, etc., that one gets into and then can come out of it also. Because that's your nature. One cannot be away from one's own nature. Whatever a sugar crystal does, well, it cannot be away from the sweetness. It can never be away from the sweetness. If sweetness is not there, sugar crystal is not there. And like a fire has a heat, definitely. So fire can never be away from the heat. Same way, I know that, well, I am basically Brahman, the limitless Brahman. Then there is, once you realize it, once you know it clearly through what has been taught in this Kenopanisad, in the first 2 chapters, well, then you will always abide into that. You can never come out of it. There is no getting out of Brahman. In fact, honestly speaking, you are right now established in that limitless joy and limitless happiness or limitless Brahman. Right now, that is what it is manifested in a experience of fullness. Well, so when you drop the limitations in a moment of joy, you are experiencing your own nature. That is what we say, moment of joy. So you are experiencing yourself. So you are established in Brahman right now. You are free right now. You are limitless right now. You are limitless happiness right now, basically. But because of ignorance, well, you have varieties of the notions. That's what has been told by Papa. So one definitely becomes free from the ignorance, self-ignorance, and the notions born of self-ignorance that I am a small, etc. Then one definitely abides one in one's own nature. Pratitishthati means definitely I all the time abide in it. There is no way of getting out of it. Means ignorance will not come back. Ignorance does not stage a comeback. One is no longer separate from Ishvara. Right now also I am not separate from Ishvara or Brahman. But due to ignorance, I feel a distance between me and the Brahman. That also goes away. And distance between you and Brahman means distance between you and the peace. Distance between you and the security. Distance between you and the happiness. That's what you are feeling, and that's how you are seeking outside in the world. But basically, you are the very source of peace, security, and happiness. And by gaining this knowledge on the Kenopanisad, well, through this all mantras, Shrotrasya Shrotram, etc., well, one abides into it. One is no more ignorant about oneself being Brahman. So, the word Pratitishthati is repeated to indicate the conclusion of this dialogue. So, text comes down orally. That is how that was a tradition, right? In those days, there were no books. So, when the teaching is over, text is over, they generally repeat the word. Pratitishthati means it is a conclusion. So, text comes down, orally, repetition of the last line or the last word indicate the completion of a particular text. This is that in tradition, it is like this. Anyway, so we have also completed Kenopanisad, I don't know how many, almost 45 lectures. So we have completed, and you can understand what a profound Upanishad it is. And so very beautifully has been explained. First two chapters, directly, very directly in the Tvampada it has been explained that you are Brahman, Shrotrasya Shrotram, etc. revealed the nature of ultimately the Atma, which is consciousness, which is Brahman. And later, of course, with the help of that story also again, and explained beautifully. And lastly, also certain preparedness for the knowledge what is required, that also has been mentioned. So that Upanishad, even though it is very small Upanishad, but it's a complete text. And so we have finished this text. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Swamiji.